Engineered flooring is composed of several layers. The very top layer is made of solid wood. Below that are a bunch of thin layers made of different types of engineered wood. Thanks to all these layers, an engineered floor is much more dimensionally stable than a solid hardwood floor. The only main drawback with engineered floors is that they can only be refinished once or twice before they need to be replaced, whereas solid hardwood floors can be sanded and refinished more times because they're solid all the way through. Customers who choose engineered flooring have more options for installation because of its added dimensional stability. Engineered floors can be used on, above, and even below grade. They can be nailed down the same way as a solid hardwood floor, or they can be affixed to the subfloor with adhesive, even directly to concrete. This is called the glue-down method. Some engineered floors can even be installed using the floating method, where each plank is glued together and the entire floor floats over the subfloor. The floating method is a great installation method for two reasons. First, a floating floor is much simpler to install. And second, because the floor can expand and contract as one large piece, spaces between the planks tend not to shrink or expand as much. In this segment, we'll be installing an engineered floor using the glue-down method. We're using Do It Best Maestro engineered flooring for this project. This is a pre-finished engineered floor available in 6 different colors. The wood top layer has 7 coats of polyurethane finish, and there's aluminum oxide in the wear layer for added durability. Maestro engineered flooring comes with a 15-year warranty. We're using the cinnamon-stained maple finish in this room. The manufacturer recommends that the planks be acclimated to the environment as you would do with solid hardwood flooring, but this isn't absolutely necessary for engineered flooring. The planks will need to be racked, however. Remember, that means you lay out several packages to create a random pattern. Our floor comes in packages with enough wood to cover 24 square feet. The planks are pre-cut in random lengths up to 48 inches long. Again, remember that the end of one plank should be at least 6 inches from the end of the plank in the next row. Use a scrap piece of flooring to mark any jambs that need to be cut. Doing this now, as opposed to after the floor is laid, will save you a lot of trouble. We'll be using an adhesive specifically made for the installation of wood parquet and plank floors. To begin the installation, be sure that the subfloor is clean and level. We're going to use what is known as a wet method of glue-down installation. This refers to the adhesive being wet when the planks are applied. In this method, we'll put the planks down as soon as the adhesive is down. There's also a dry method, which involves the adhesive being applied to the floor, then being left to flash or set for a certain amount of time, according to the instructions, before the wood floor is put down. To actually install the floor, the first thing to do is choose a starter wall. An exterior wall is best, as exterior walls tend to be straighter than interior walls. Measure out from the starter wall the width of 2 planks plus 1/4 inch. Mark the spot at each end of the wall and use a chalk line to make a straight guideline the entire length of the floor. Spread the adhesive onto the floor from the chalk line to the wall. These first 2 plank runs are critical because they determine how straight the finished floor will be. Carefully install the first 2 rows with the tongue facing the starter wall, ensuring that each plank is straight against the chalk line. Once the first 2 rows are in position, allow them to set for a while until the boards are secure. Then continue with the rest of the floor, spreading the adhesive in 2 to 3 foot sections at a time. Laying the right amount of adhesive is essential. For this floor, the manufacturer specifies using a V-notched trowel that has a 3/16 by 1/2 by 1/4 inch deep V-notch. The trowel should be held at a 45-degree angle to get the correct amount of adhesive onto the floor. A nice, even spread of adhesive creates a permanent bond with the subfloor. Not using enough adhesive can lead to loose or hollow spots. To continue laying the floor, place the tongue of the new plank into the groove of the last plank you laid, then push it firmly into the adhesive. Use a tapping block to ensure a snug fit, and be careful not to slide the plank through the adhesive. If any adhesive gets onto the finished surface, wipe it off before it dries with mineral spirits and a clean cloth. If the adhesive dries on the plank, it may be impossible to remove. As you lay the floor, it's helpful to use strips of blue painter's tape to hold the planks securely together without leaving residue behind. It's also very important not to work on top of the flooring while installing it, as you may dislodge the planks. Keep working towards the doorway until you reach the end of the room. You'll have to cut the very last piece on each end to size using a miter saw. If you use the cut-off pieces from the end of one run as the start of the next run, you can avoid wasting the flooring. The very last row may also have to be trimmed with a saw to fit, depending on the width of the room. And there you have it, a nice, shiny, new engineered wood floor. The floor can handle light foot traffic 12 hours after installation, but the tape should remain in place for a full 24 hours. There are matching trim pieces available for the ends of the floor that butt up against carpet or any other flooring type. To finish the edges around the room, use a piece of quarter round as a trim piece.